So there is always this lie that men are constantly spewing out on the internet. And just from my own experience, I already knew that it was a lie whenever they try to talk about this. And I'm going to give you all proof that men are lying when they say that this is what they want from women, or the world is in disarray because women don't have this one thing. And the thing that men are lying about to us, particularly on the internet, is that they deem women that didn't grow up with a father as unworthy, not valuable, and essentially they see it as a red flag. And they believe that women are essentially misled when they do not have a father in the home. So, we are going to look at a situation that has happened in Texas. All right. So, couple accused of shooting the father of their son's teen girlfriend after he said she was too young to date. The incident occurred during an argument between the parents in Texas on March 17th. So, here are the two parents that were a part of the crime that was committed. And the article reads, a couple has been arrested in Texas after being accused of shooting the father of their son's teenage girlfriend. Luther Madison II, 39, allegedly shot the dad of his son's girlfriend with a gun facilitated by his wife, Angelica Madison, also 39, during an argument as the parents met to discuss their children dating on March 17th. Harris County Constable Mark Herman said in a statement shared on Facebook. Police responded to an aggravated assault called about two men fighting on the street and shots were fired. In the 2,440th block of Osprey Point Drive, they arrived to find a male victim with a gunshot wound to the chest. The victim reported to police that he and his wife had met at the location with the Madisons to ask them for help in keeping their son away from their daughter, as she is too young to be dating. So here we go. This is Luther Madison the second here. This is the man that shot the father of the daughter that his son was trying to date. A fight between the men ensued before Angelica allegedly removed a gun from her pocket and handed it to her husband, who then shot the victim. He then pointed the weapon at the victim's wife and threatened her. The victim was transported by air to the hospital, Herman confirmed in another Facebook post. His condition is unknown at the time. So that goes to show you right there that these men are full of shit when they say that they want a woman that has a father in their life, because the young lady that this criminal, he takes the life of her father because her own father is trying to protect her. Her own father is trying to say, I don't want your son around my daughter. And then to think that the wife played a role in this and actually assisted her husband in doing this. This is a prime example as to why ex-wives are the way that they are. They want to do everything by force. Because something tells me is that if the father was willing to go as far as to take a life of another father because he would not allow his daughter to date his son, if this wouldn't have happened, his son and his son probably is going to still grow up to be this individual. His son, under his father's influence, is pretty much going to grow up being a misogynistic asshole because his father is setting the example of entitlement, setting him up for the example that if you like a woman, if you like a girl, it should always be reciprocated. And if you don't get what it is that you want out of said woman, you are supposed to get it by any means necessary. So essentially, his son will most likely be a future rapist. his son will most likely be a convicted felon. His son will most likely commit DV against a woman in most cases, because look at who his father is. Men do not want women to have fathers, okay? Um Men love the idea of that, but not the reality. What When men are saying that, what they're really saying is that men think a woman with a strong father figure will be more traditional, more nurturing, and raised right. Essentially, their belief is that if a woman has a father, her father will condition her with patriarchal bullshit. But when that father enforces boundaries, demand respect, and teaches his daughter, nah, you ain't gonna be able to come around my daughter, pretty much teaching his daughter to have standards for herself. Suddenly the man is angry, he's hostile, and then in this case, we see that he is even violent. Okay. What this really means is that men just want control. Many men like to push the strong father figure narrative because they assume that she will be easier to control thanks to years of grooming, thanks to years of conditioning by her father. They don't actually want her father to still be present, to protect her, to guide her, and check the man that she dates. They definitely don't want her father to be super, super, you know, successful. They also don't want her to have a father that spoils her. We've seen this with Lisa Ray. Lisa Ray has had a father who spoiled the hell out of her. Her mother was a kept woman because of her father. These men don't want you to have that, because if they see that you have that, that means that they realize, oh shit, well, I'm an average dusty bummy ass man, I got a regular 9 to 5 at the plant. I'm not going to be able to have access to this type of woman because her father has set the bar too high. And this has literally happened to me. I cannot tell you how many dusties my father has protected me from, because my father is very well accomplished. And that's the reason why I can't even date. I can't even date within like where I live, because too many people know my father. Too many people know that he's successful. And the world is so small. I have a quick story. So there was one guy, we weren't even dating. We went on one date. And during the date, we come to find out he actually knows my father. And he's actually known my father since he was like a very, very young boy. And so my father had actually assumed that I had met up with this guy. He kind of had put two and two together. And so one thing about my father, he's going to vet someone for me. Okay. He's going to vet someone for me if need be. And so I told my dad, like, oh, yeah, I was hanging out with so and so or whatever. He seems cool. And so my dad, he spills all the tea. He spills all the tea on this guy. My father went as far as to call up the father of the girlfriend that same guy dated. So he had dated a girl, and my father knows her father. So he called him up on the phone and was like, "Hey, what was your experience with old dude?" You know what I mean? And he was like, he ain't a bad dude, but he was controlling. He just was pretty much spilling the beans on this guy. And ironically, once the guy realized he knew my father and who my father was, he quit talking to me. He completely quit talking to me. At first, he was all into me. He was romantically interested in me. As soon as he knew who my father was, he switched the fuck up, because he knew that my father was not going to approve of him being around me. So he just bowed out gracefully. So even in my own life, I have seen that these men, they don't want you to have a father. They just want to try to use that as something to try to throw back at you as in an inadequacy in order to shame you. Okay. This article and my story is proof that there are men out there who see strong fathers as an obstacle. Men don't like obstacles. Do not believe them when they say, oh, well, we want you to have a father. No, they want you to have a father that has conditioned you with patriarchal bullshit and that essentially is going to feed you to the wolves. That was how marriage started. Marriage started as slavery. The fathers would have their daughters and then sell their daughters to a man. That's what these men want when they say that they want a woman that has a father. The strong father myth is a scam. It's a complete scam. If men truly respected father, they'd have no problem engaging with them like men, okay, with maturity and respect. But instead, they whine, they throw tantrums, in this case, committing actual violence just because a father dared to say, I don't approve of this relationship. My daughter, and because these are teenagers, they're not allowed legally to reveal the age. So I don't know if he's 18 or if he's 17 and she's 14. If I could guess, that's probably what the age difference was, because the father did say that he felt that his daughter was too young. So do men really want a woman with a father, or do they just want a woman that they can manipulate? Men always say, I want a woman with a father in her life, but when that father actually shows up and says she's not for you, suddenly he's controlling, he's overprotective. If you are a man and you cannot handle a father protecting his daughter, you don't deserve that woman. You don't. So, ladies or men in the comments, I would love for you to tell me, have you ever seen a man contradict themselves like this in your personal life? I would love for you to drop down below in the comments and tell me. Also, don't forget to go on ahead and like and subscribe to the video. And you can also join my Patreon. I have the link in my description. And I will talk to you all next time. Bye.